Star Wars 7 by 7 episode 2476. Today, discussing, considering the question, and it's something that I've talked about on Twitter already. Would love to hear your thoughts as well. Will the fine folks at Lucasfilm create NFTs out of Star Wars material? And just what an NFT is? Well, we'll talk about that too. Punch it. Hey Rebel Rouser, I'm Alan Voivod, and this is Star Wars 7 by 7, your daily dose of Star Wars joy. And thank you so much for joining me for it. So, probably the best place to start, if you're not familiar with the concept of an NFT, it's an acronym that stands for a non-fungible token. Wow, that's crazy. And what exactly is the deal with that? Well, basically, if you're familiar with cryptocurrency and blockchains and all that stuff, it relates to that, but basically what it means is that it is a unique kind of token that represents one specific thing. And probably the best way to talk about it for our purposes to begin this conversation is how the NBA, the National Basketball Association, has been doing this thing. It's called NBA Top Shots, where they have little video clips of highlights from various basketball games, and you can actually bid to be the owner of the clip where, you know, say Kyrie Irving dunks on someone, right? And it's a little bit strange because people can, you know, take that video clip and put it on their own websites. Yes, of course, there's digital rights management and all that stuff. You know, yeah, that's a whole separate issue actually from this. But basically there is one verified person who owns the clip of, say, this basketball player dunking on someone, and it's invested in the same way that, say, for example, a physical trading card, like if you had an old Pokemon trading card, it's invested in the same way. So basically somebody is saying, yeah, I think that people will want to own a digitally verified, I'm the authentic owner of this particular video clip. It's been done with like the 9-cat meme, which is that, you know, meme of a cat with a Pop-Tart body that's flying around in space and all sorts of other things. But as the NBA has demonstrated, sort of the next wave for this sort of thing is corporate IP, corporate intellectual property, taking the things that are being produced by brands and offering authenticated, if you will, versions of them to be sold to the general public. So if you think about it in terms of this NBA Top Shots model, you can imagine a world where the folks at Lucasfilm might decide to say, oh, we could do something similar. And so the moment where, say, Luke Skywalker, for example, is standing on the skiff in Return of the Jedi, and he catches the lightsaber as it's been shot to him from R2-D2, the moment where he grabs it in his hand and lights it up, right? That video clip could be sold as a Top Shot kind of thing, as an NFT, where somebody could be an authorized owner of that one video clip. And so I started a poll on the Twitter account for the podcast, it's SW7X7 Podcast, asking the question whether you think that Star Wars will offer NFTs for sale to fans either this year in 2021 or in 2022 if they're going to be a little bit, you know, slower to, you know, catch up with other folks, or if they're just never going to do it. And right now, the poll is on the never side. It's going never, and then 2022, and then 2021. And if you would like your say in the poll, I'd love to hear from you. So please chime in on the poll at SW7X7 Podcast on Twitter. Personally, I have to say, I can't imagine them doing this for clips of, you know, Star Wars, whether it's movies or live action series or animation. That seems like it goes kind of beyond the pale. But it did occur to me that, you know, speaking of the whole trading card thing, that the Topps Star Wars Card Trader app, right? They've done some very fascinating things to monetize the app over the years. And so it seems like that would be sort of a natural thing for the Card Trader app to create versions of Star Wars trading cards that they would then sell off as NFTs. It seems like a very logical way for them to try to pursue that kind of endeavor. And I was also thinking about it in terms of Star Wars Authentics, and that was something where there's been some developments that I wasn't aware of until now as I was looking into this for this episode. But Star Wars Authentics was the service where you could buy autographed photos of various Star Wars actors, and they would be autographed and they would be authenticated, so you knew you were getting the real deal basically. But apparently that business has shuttered as of December of 2020, and so that's actually not happening anymore, unfortunately. Supposedly there is, I guess, some placeholder thing saying that eventually something is going to come that will address the particular desire for that. But Star Wars Authentics was the thing that ran all of the autograph sessions at Star Wars Celebrations, for example. And so the fact that that's not there, it seems like that's kind of a major hole in collector and fan desire. But I have a feeling eventually that's going to come back, and it wouldn't surprise me to see them go with this whole NFT thing as well. Now, the whole NFT thing in general, there are questions about it, in particular also with regard to climate change and about the energy that it takes to mine and mint coins on the blockchain, which is a longer discussion that's super out of the purview of this podcast, to be sure. But leaving all that aside, if you were able to own the authorized NFT version of a particular Star Wars trading card or a particular autographed photo of a Star Wars actor, who would it be? What would it be? I would love to hear your thoughts on that. So please chime in wherever you catch the show, and it has a comment section. That could be youtube.com/SW7X7 or facebook.com/SW7X7. And I've already mentioned the Twitter feed, but hey, one more time, that's SW7X7 podcast on Twitter or at home base for the show at SW7X7.com. And that is going to do it for this episode of the show. It just remains for me to say thank you so much for joining me for it, as always, and may the Force be with you wherever in the world you may be.
Star Wars 7x7 is not endorsed or sponsored yet by Lucasfilm Limited, Disney, or 20th Century Fox, and is intended for entertainment and information purposes only. Star Wars, the Star Wars logo, all names and pictures of Star Wars characters, vehicles, and any other Star Wars-related items are registered trademarks and/or copyrights of Lucasfilm Limited, or their respective trademark and copyright holders. May the Force be with them. All original content is copyright 2021 by Star Wars 7x7. We hope you love it.